So let's talk about 3 recommendations that I have to do to your GrapheneOS phone as soon as you get GrapheneOS installed. The first thing you're going to want to look at doing is delisting your phone number from the RCS system. Now, RCS is a reasonably new protocol that allows secure messaging between iPhone users and Android users, and of course between Android and Android as well, because back in the day, if an iPhone user sent you a message and you were on Android, it was going to go through the old SMS, MMS protocols, which are very secure, no encryption, just not good at all for privacy and security. So you're probably asking yourself, well, why would I want to delist my phone number from RCS? Well, let's dive into that for just a minute. So if your phone number is still stuck in the RCS system and you use the default text message app that comes with GrapheneOS, there's a good chance that you won't be able to send and or receive messages to people you've recently been sending messages to. And that's because your phone number is going to be in the RCS system, which is basically managed and maintained by Google. For the most part, they own most of the infrastructure for that. And so, for example, if your friend puts in your phone number and sends you a message, the RCS system is going to be like, oh, this phone number is an RCS recipient. Let's go ahead and try to route it to them, except it won't be able to because you don't have an app on your phone that's connected to the RCS network or infrastructure, okay? So you need to delist your phone number so that you can start getting, sending and receiving messages again. And of course, that does leave you open for a little bit of time here because you need to get an alternative messaging app installed on your device. So that's going to be number 2. And of course, the app that I recommend right now, if you want to be completely getting away from big tech, right, de-Googling yourself, getting away from Apple, all that kind of stuff, you're going to want to look at the Signal Messenger app. That is going to be the best bet for your privacy and security. Now, there are a couple different ways you can install this. You can go directly to signal.org in the secure web browser that comes with GrapheneOS. It's called Vanadium, and you can download the APK directly from their website and install it. But there is a little bit of risk with doing this because you just don't know if that APK has technically been compromised. Maybe you put a typo in, maybe the search engine displayed some ad, right, or something and took you to the wrong, some other weird online APK place that gives you APKs, right? You just never know. So if you do go directly to signal.org, make sure you're actually on signal.org when you download that APK. Now, Graphene itself, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen them recommend that you actually install Google Play services so that you can get that attestation. You can basically get some peace of mind that the Signal app or any apps that you're downloading have been basically cleared of any kind of malware. You'll know it's the right installation. But again, I know there are some of you all that are trying to de-Google yourself and get you out of the big tech ecosystem. So I understand both sides there. Just wanted to give you a kind of that spiel on how you can get Signal installed. Now, of course, if you're going to use your GrapheneOS phone and you're still going to be going to the Google Play services to install apps because some of your apps are only on Google Play services, you can just install Signal that way as well. So those are pretty much the 2 primary ways that I would recommend, at least starting off, depending on what you're going to use your GrapheneOS for and depending on what kind of security and privacy mindset you have and how far you want to take it, right? Everybody's different out there, and that's the whole beautiful thing about GrapheneOS. They're not actually promoting that you de-Google yourself and do this and that. They're basically promoting that they want to give you the choice. And so if you do install Sandbox Google Play services, you have the choice to remove certain permissions and basically have full control over what those apps can and cannot do. That's the whole idea here, folks. Everybody has a different need. So again, number 2 is going to be getting Signal on your phone. Now, here's the thing. Signal does not mean that you can send and receive to people without Signal. All right, so that's kind of the caveat here. You're going to have to get all your friends and family on Signal. My entire family's on Signal, so it's no problem for me. So it's been really good. You get to do group video calls, group chats. We have chats just with the sons, chats with just the cousins and the nephews. Like it's really, really quite cool to have everybody on Signal, but I know that's not the case for everybody. And so you're going to need an RCS capable app. And in that case, you're probably going to need to install the regular old Google Messenger app through the Sandbox Google Play services. That way you can just use it with everybody that you've been talking to, and you don't have to go ask people to install Signal on their phone. But I will say this, it's very rare that I meet somebody new even, or communicate with somebody that does not have Signal on their phone. However, it does happen, and so the Google Play Messenger, regular Google Messenger app can still be installed, and that will give you RCS capabilities if you so choose, right? So it's going to be up to you what your use case is and what your needs are. So that's going to be the way to get you up and going with some sort of messaging system after you get GrapheneOS installed. And then of course, there's going to be the third thing I would recommend do to your phone is really looking at the auto reboot timer. Okay, the auto reboot timer is a timer that is going to automatically reboot your device after a certain period of time if you've already unlocked it the first time. Okay, so in other words, let's just say I power cycle my phone right now, it comes back up, right, and asks me for a PIN code. That's what you call before first unlock, okay? I unlock my phone, put in my fingerprint, and now I'm in what's called after first unlock. Even if I lock my phone up, I'm still in after first unlock because I haven't rebooted yet. In other words, those decryption keys and all the technology that's needed to basically decrypt all the files and everything on your phone remain in memory, even if I lock the phone and get back to a lock screen. In other words, somebody that steals your phone or forcibly takes your phone while your phone has already been unlocked at least one time since it's booted will be able to use data extraction tools to potentially get into your phone. And so what the auto reboot feature does is it simply reboots your phone so you're in that before first unlock state, which means nothing's been decrypted yet because you haven't yet unlocked your phone since it's booted up, okay? And so it defaults to 18 hours. It's probably a pretty good number, but depending on who you are and what you do and kind of the threats you may face on a daily basis may determine whether you need to drop that down a little bit. I have mine set to 4 hours. It's no big deal to me that it reboots and I have to put my PIN code in again because that's what's going to happen. You won't be able to just use that thumbprint, right? You'll have to put in your actual PIN code to do the unlock. But it's no big deal to me, and maybe you're a journalist, right? You may want to set that to 4 hours, maybe even a little lower. If you're traveling to and from overseas, crossing borders, whether it's in the United States or anywhere, there's a really good chance that your phone could be confiscated. And of course, you don't necessarily want to give up your privacy or your rights to privacy, and you can be assured that your phone is going to automatically reboot with that auto reboot feature if something nefarious was to happen at the border or while you're traveling or with law enforcement or anything like that. And so I have mine set to 4 hours, but again, you might not be in any kind of situation or might not be doing any kind of politics or anything like that that may require you to have that lower number. However, if you're into any kind of activism politically, if you're a journalist, right, or if you're maybe a corporate executive or you're high up the food chain with a corporation and you might happen to have emails or something like that on your GrapheneOS phone that you just can't risk being compromised, then having that auto reboot feature at a lower time will greatly better secure your device. Now, when it does come to traveling overseas, I'll just go ahead and say this. I don't even recommend that you carry your GrapheneOS phone. Personally, if you're going to go overseas, probably may want to consider getting a burner phone, but if you do take your main phone, I would highly recommend you just do a factory reset before you head back into the United States or into your home country, or at least power cycle your phone, reboot it before you get off the plane. And so those are really the three things that I recommend doing with your GrapheneOS phone as soon as you get GrapheneOS installed. That'll get you up and going in terms of using your GrapheneOS device. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.